some of the other things that we're seeing in the NFT space. We're talking about Bored Ape Yacht Club that's continuing to rise. We're seeing celebrities get into the space. What are your thoughts on Bored Ape Yacht Club? What do you think is happening there? How do you feel about this?
Well, maybe before we go into how I feel about it, let's give a little preamble to what Bored Ape Yacht Club is. Similar to CryptoPunks, there's 10,000 of them, and what they are is non-fungible tokens, 10,000 unique apes, all with different attributes, all with different design. And I actually quite like the aesthetics of a Bored Ape. Some people who see CryptoPunks look at it and say, that doesn't look like art. Some people love them, but I think the Bored Apes themselves are very well executed on the design side of things. And what's interesting about the Bored Apes is that the owner of the NFT gets full commercial rights to the NFT and to the design. So they can print merch, they can use that ape for whatever purpose they see fit, which is unique in the NFT space and one of the firsts. And anyone who holds the Bored Ape NFT gets access to their membership club. Like a yacht club, you get access to their membership club. So now they're giving this additional value that you can be part of this community by holding the NFT, which is pretty interesting. But what we've seen in the last week or so is we've seen Bored Apes continue to rise in their popularity. There's some OGs entering the space. There's some celebs entering the space. And we've seen the floor price of Bored Apes continue to rise. They had a merch drop happen last week, which sold out in 6 minutes. 520 items sold out in 6 minutes. We had NFT influencers and Whale Dingaling post in Discord that he's going to buy up all the apes in the secondary market and he's going to get the price up to 0.5 ETH. That started a frenzy of ape buying and influencers in the space tweeting, and you had famous digital artist Beeple tweeting about it and creating an artwork about it, which continued to drive up the price of Bored Apes. And then we saw an ape sell for an all-time high of 49.99 ETH, or 120,000, or now $132,000 at that point in time, which was the trippy Bored Ape. I think it's pretty cool. It is pretty trippy, but a pretty rare ape. And that started to see the price of these apes, the floor price, go from 0.4 ETH to 1 ETH. We saw it be the #1 selling NFT project in terms of total USD sales volume over a 24-hour period, which is an incredible feat for a new project that has only been in the market now for, I think, about 2 months since its launch. Wow. And then we saw some new celebs coming into it. LaMelo Ball and other celebs aped in and spoke about it in the Discord group. So here's LaMelo Ball saying, "This is my ape, y'all." Budding NBA.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think LaMelo Ball, who's probably going to win Rookie of the Year this year, he's an NBA basketball player, jumping in there and talking in the Discord group. I believe he was in there for about 3 hours, engaging with everybody. And that's something, that's how you build a community, right? You're having influencers, you're having these guys who are coming in, obviously them saying, hey, I'm buying these apes and it's going to continue to build up the value, but they're part of this community, right? They're becoming a part of it. You have these guys who have a lot of a lot of love in the community. You have Cardi, who's a rapper, who's talking about it. You have Playboy Cardi. You have Josh Hart, who's another NBA basketball player. You have Gary Vee, who has his own NFT, which is the second hottest NFT in the space right now. VeeFriends jumping in the Discord group for Bored Apes, talking about how he believes in this community. I mean, those are the things that I believe are going to continue to happen. The best tweet I've seen so far has been somebody saying, hey, we should have Bored Ape and Zed Run partner up and do a collab where Bored Ape should ride the Zed Run horses. And I'm like, holy shit, that is unbelievable. That would be epic. But in this digital world, in the metaverse, this could happen, right? This is not something that's unheard of. It could absolutely happen. And now living in this community, I'm like, how do we make it happen? Who do we have to talk to, right? Do we have to sign a petition? Which Discord group are we jumping into to actually make this happen? But the communities are the ones that could drive this, right? They're the ones that are getting behind it. They're the ones that are moving this. And they're the ones that are actually I don't want to say they're controlling the product, but they're curating it, right? They're the ones that if you do something wrong as the founders, the community is going to let you know about it. They're going to push back, right? They're not going to continue to build and promote and help these products grow. And I think that's extremely interesting, and I love every moment of it. And I know as marketers of CMOs of Fortune 500 brands right now, they should really take a page out of the book of NFT, of some of these NFTs, and figure out how to grow Discord groups where you could actually talk about products and have these communities continue to kind of rise and showcase and get feedback, right? Because when you're getting the feedback in Bored Apes, the owners actually take advantage of that and utilize it and actually listen to the changes that the community asks for.
So I think that's what you're saying is this is the difference with what NFTs do of being a consumer versus an owner. These communities are engaged because they're owners of the asset, they're owners of the NFT, they're owner of the potential viability of this potential asset and community in the long run. So they have an interest in making sure that this is successful. They have an interest in every decision that is being made. This isn't just something that they're being, broadcasted to and saying, you should buy this and you should own this and you should do this and you should like it. They're saying, well, this is something I own and I'm part of. I'm one of 10,000 of these Bored Apes, or I own 10 or 50 or however many of these. And I want to be an active participant in how this community shapes out. I want to be an active participant in what this stands for, what are the things we can do, who are the cool people that we're going to bring into the community, and make that grow organically. And that's very hard to replicate. And Bored Apes are starting to show that they are building an early, vibrant, strong, influential community, and could be the project we just spoke earlier about, a CryptoPunk selling for $11 million. Are these the new CryptoPunks? Are these the new community that will become an OG in the years to come? That is the question, obviously, on everyone's mind. We're seeing that frenzy, or we're seeing that uptick in the price of apes going from floor price of 0.4 ETH to 1.9 ETH today. And that's because of all these people that are starting to say, this is a legit community. This is a place that you want to be. And this is a member base that is going to be influential in the NFT space. So, start becoming a part of it and buying up some apes.
And one last thing I want to mention before we will move on. I think the transparency of NFTs, right? I think the fact that you could go and actually be able to pull some of this data, pull some of these analytics. Obviously, investors are going to start coming in and really analyzing this data and figuring out ways that they could make money off this, right? And obviously, we're seeing it happen day in, day out. But I'm talking about people that don't even know what an NFT is, right? The transparency is there. So you're able to come in and analyze data and really be able to understand, well, how big are these markets? Where do these markets stand compared to other NFTs? And what are the opportunities that lie there for me as an investor? It's extremely interesting, and I think there's so much there. And in future shows we'll go deeper into data on different types of NFTs and just data in general. But I'm personally somebody that likes to look at data like this as a snapshot. I don't, my mind unfortunately is not data oriented, right? I'm more of a gut guy, but people that are really obsessed with data, I mean, there's so much there for them to kind of dig through and pick apart. So I think that is something that's really cool.
And I think if you add to the data, if we look at the past week of sales or the past 24 hours of sales in Bored Ape specifically, I think they did something like $2.8 million in sales across 310 buyers. And that number, I'm a VC, I look at average revenue per user. That ARPU per user is something like $9,000 per buyer. That's a big number. That is what it means to be an owner versus a consumer. These are people now buying probably on average 2 to 3 of these apes to get involved in the community. And we're seeing large numbers here across a small number of buyers. What's showing, again, the power of NFTs. You don't necessarily need to have a community of 10 million people. You can have a community of a couple of thousand really engaged fans and build a market that is tens of millions of dollars and extremely valuable, because these are true fans. These are people who are really big believers in these communities and will put their money behind that belief.
Yeah. And I mean, marketing 101, right? Build a community. You look at brands that build communities, they're the most successful brands. They continue, what happens is you get brand ambassadors who are basically free employees that are now going out there and promoting your brand. And we see it in the kind of in the regular world, but NFT world, that literally that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that are going to believe in this project, going to believe in it long term, and they're going to continue to evolve. So you're right. The numbers are insane. Look at NBA Top Shot, 9,000 buyers, and it's 1.5 million. And here you got 310 buyers. That's pretty up.
2.8, exactly.